Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda Reed. I'm going to take a few minutes of your time to talk to you about the Moderator Esp indicators. The Esp indicators are the lights that you're going to see showing up inside the participant window. So we have activity halos and we have activity indicators. So let me talk a little bit about the difference here. The activity halo, what we're referring to, is the yellow that's going to appear around any one of the tools that you see in the participant window. So what that means in this screenshot specifically is Amanda has her microphone turned on, Mike has the microphone turned on, and Deborah has the microphone turned on. This would also give you an indication that we have at least 3 simultaneous talkers activated. Mike is actually typing a message in chat, so is Elizabeth. So in the session, from the moderator's perspective, when you're looking in the participant window, if you're trying to monitor what your students are doing and what tools they're using, you're going to be watching these activity lights. So in this case, I would know I needed to be keeping an eye on the text chat, waiting for those messages to come in. No one is actually using any of the whiteboard tools. Okay, it looks like it's still loading, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. But if I were actively using the tool, you would see yellow. If I were in application sharing, that would turn yellow. And here we could see Mike actually has his video turned on. So the yellow tells you who is using that particular tool. Now the activity indicators, you're going to see that next to audio, whiteboard, app share, and live video. And those are these red and orange lights. Those are the activity indicators. So let's talk about what they mean in terms of audio. The orange status indicator is indicating there's a delay in receiving the audio from the talker, 3 to 8 seconds. Okay, so this is really just kind of a heads up that that individuals are lagging a little bit behind. They're going to get a little bit of a slowdown in receiving your audio. Orange and red says the delay is more than 8 seconds. Usually if it's more than 8 seconds, that's a little bit more significant, right? What Illuminate is going to do, because we want to keep everybody synchronized, is that we're going to insert a little silence in the audio stream for that particular participant. Then we're going to grab all that audio, we're going to buffer it, and we're going to play it back in an accelerated format for that participant. That means that they're going to hear your voice sounding, and people like to call it a chipmunking kind of voice or a cartoon character. So what we do is we play back the audio fast for that person. It's totally understandable. You can hear exactly what they're saying. And then we resynchronize that participant with everybody else in the session. So you never lose any audio in the session. You might just have a little slowdown, buffering, playing back in that chipmunk voice or that accelerated format. The red status indicator says that the participant is non-responsive and may be offline. Typically, if I see just a solid red light next to the microphone, I know that person has lost their internet connection, lost their connection to the server. I'm never surprised if I see their name disappear and then reappear again. Because if they lose their connection to the session because of a problem with their internet, they'll get bumped out of the session, but the server Illuminate is going to automatically work to reconnect that person into the session. So typically, it's only a couple of seconds that you see them disappear. So our example here, Vivian is talking. Lucy is experiencing a delay in receiving the audio. And Charlie and Ricky, everything's just fine for them. All right, let's talk about what the activity indicator lights mean with the whiteboard. So if you see the red or orange light next to the whiteboard indicator, the red light says the participant has not received the current whiteboard screen. Most of the time this happens, let's say if I use snapshot in application sharing, or I load a big image just by clicking the load image, or I snapshot using the snapshot tool, and I've now got a big image that I'm trying to put on the whiteboard. That's a typical time in which you're going to see that delay. Orange indicator says the participant is in the process of receiving the whiteboard or the markup or whatever it is you're putting on, so the stream is coming down to them. And then also you're going to you'll see those orange lights if, let's say, you load a big PowerPoint file. It's got 20 slides in it. Well, you're going to see those orange lights indicating that the slides are still loading, that the whiteboard screens are still loading. But what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, you know what? If you want everybody to see slide 10, because you're on slide 10, then we're going to load slide 10 first and load everything else in the background. So we're going to try to get that piece of content that you're actually wanting to show your students, the one you're talking about, that's what we're going to load first. Application sharing. What the orange and red indicator lights are telling you is that the person is receiving a delay in the application sharing. Pretty much the only time I see this is when I first go into application sharing and the application comes up. That's when I keep my eye on those application sharing indicator lights. I wait for everybody to get the application, everybody to get resynced, wait for the lights to disappear, and then I start clicking and moving around in the application. If I'm dragging windows around or I'm scrolling through a document, that oftentimes will also cause a delay. So especially in AppShare, you might want to use the pause, reposition your windows, or scroll through the document, and then resume the sharing. Last one is with video. You will see the red and orange indicator lights with video. So the red light says, appears for the person who's transmitting. It says, hey, there's a little bit of delay in sending the data to the server. Okay. It also appears that the participant closes their video window. So if I turn on my video and I'm showing video and I see that red next to somebody's webcam icon in the participant window, I know they closed the video window. That might be okay, but if it's essential for them to be watching the video, that's my clue to be able to say to that person, hey, turn back on your video window. Orange and the orange and red indicators together. Orange signifies that the transmission and the receipt is delayed. Once again, it's just a slowdown. And orange and red just means that more of a slowdown, that the video device is sending frames faster than the recipients can receive them. One of the things that we can recommend to help with this is that the person who's sending the video just send fewer frames, or change it from fine color down to maybe medium color so that you're not sending as much video information. And here are those indicator lights. So those are the indicator lights. That's what you're going to be seeing in the participant window that's going to help you as a moderator be able to understand exactly the experience your participants are having and exactly which tools your participants are using. Visit our website, illuminate.com/training. That's where you're going to find lots of recorded training sessions, quick reference guides, a user guide, much more information about Illuminate Live. Thanks for watching this recording.